transcripts were already printed and bound in a manila folder when I walked into that courtroom. 47 pages, 17 dinners, months of recordings made beneath a tablecloth my mother had owned for 30 years. My name is Nora. I was 26 years old, and I had spent the last 8 months doing something my family never imagined I was capable of. Listening carefully and saying nothing. While they planned, they talked. While they talked, I recorded. While I recorded, a forensic audio firm was certifying every file to meet 2026 federal digital evidence standards. My brother Derek called me paranoid once, right in front of our father's attorney. He said I saw manipulation where there was only grief. He said that in November. By the following April, his own voice was playing on a courtroom speaker. If that hook already hit you somewhere real, subscribe before you keep watching. What I'm about to share took 8 months of my life. My father had been ill for the better part of 2 years before he passed. During that time, I was the one who managed his medications, drove him to appointments, coordinated with his cardiologist. Derek lived 40 minutes away and visited on holidays. His wife Pam had made it clear their household was busy. The conversations began during Sunday dinners, around 6 months before my father died. Small comments at first, Derek mentioning how much work it would be to manage a property from across town. My father would nod along, tired from the week, medicated by evening, often half present. I noticed. I didn't say anything yet, I just noticed. Our family home, a 4-bedroom property in the family for over 30 years, was the centerpiece of his estate. There was also a savings account carrying just over $240,000 and a small rental unit. My father's will, as of the previous year, divided assets equally between Derek and me. But Derek had begun talking about a revised arrangement. He used phrases like more practical and what Dad really wants. He used them at dinner calmly, while I passed the bread. The night I decided to start recording, Derek said something I cannot forget. He leaned toward Pam and said, "She won't fight it. She's too soft for that." I excused myself to use the restroom. I sat on the edge of the bathtub for 60 seconds. Then I went back to the table and finished my meal. 3 days later, I ordered 2 high-fidelity audio devices. I placed them before the next Sunday dinner. The recordings started the first week of September. What I captured in the first 3 sessions was uncomfortable, but not yet specific. Derek pushing the idea that I wasn't equipped to handle the complexity of the estate. Pam suggesting my father had told her privately that he wanted things simplified. Then came the dinner in mid-October that changed everything. My father had stepped away from the table to answer a call from his physician. Derek and Pam were alone with me, or thought they were. Derek said, "Once he signs the updated documents, there's nothing she can do. The trust amendment puts everything into the family management account. Her name isn't on it." Pam responded, "What about the attorney? Won't he notice?" Derek, "He'll notice whatever Dad tells him he wants." I sat across from them. I kept my expression neutral. I asked Derek if he wanted more water. He said yes. I refilled his glass. What I didn't know yet was that the documents Derek mentioned had already been partially prepared. The trust amendment had been drafted without my knowledge, using a different firm Derek had retained privately. My father's signature appeared on a draft dated 3 weeks earlier. The problem was, 3 weeks earlier, my father had been hospitalized for a cardiac episode. His signature on that draft was dated the same morning he was admitted. I thought I understood what they had done. I didn't. Not yet. I retained an estate attorney in early November. I brought her the recordings, and I brought her the hospital record. She listened to the October dinner clip twice without interrupting. When it finished, she set down her pen. "This is undue influence with a timestamp on it." We filed an emergency motion to halt any changes to the trust, while the matter was under review. Derek found out within 48 hours. His response was fast. He called my father and told him I was trying to seize control of the estate. He framed it, carefully, as a betrayal of the family. My father called me that evening. His voice was strained and confused. He asked me why I was doing this. I told him I wasn't doing anything against him. I told him I was doing something for him. He was quiet for a long time. If you're new here, subscribe. I post every week. The countermove from Derek didn't end with that phone call. He filed a competing motion claiming I had exerted undue influence over our father. He characterized me as an opportunist, who had used caretaking access to isolate my father from his family. The irony was exact. The accusation was exact, and I had 47 pages that answered it directly. The motion to admit the recordings was heard in March. The defense argued the recordings should be excluded. My attorney demonstrated that our state permitted single-party recording in private residences where the recording party was present. The motion was granted. The tapes were admitted. The day the October recording played in open court, the room was very quiet. Derek's face did not move when his own voice described the trust amendment. Pam looked at the floor. Their attorney wrote something on a legal pad and did not look up. The judge halted the playback twice to take note. The fraudulent trust amendment was invalidated. The original will was reinstated. The family management account was frozen. Derek was ordered to repay both transfers in full with interest. Permanent protective orders were issued. I didn't cry when the ruling was read. I sat quietly and let it settle. My attorney put her hand briefly on my shoulder. My father died 6 weeks later at home in peace. He knew what had happened. He knew what I had done and why. The home still stands. The savings are intact. The rental unit generates income every month. Everything he built is protected. You are not paranoid for trusting what you see. You are not soft for refusing to fight at the dinner table. The truth doesn't need your help making noise. It just needs a record. If this story reached you, share it with someone who might need it. I post every week, and the next one is already waiting.